Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students of second year MBBS, yesterday we were talking about the small intestine. I have told you that there are three parts of the small intestine: the duodenum, jejunum and ileum. And I have told you that there is difference in structure between these three parts of the small intestine. Today I am going to tell you about the identification of the slides under the microscope. You can see this is the slide of the duodenum, and as I have told you that the villi which are present in the mucosa of the duodenum, they are leaf-like. These are the leaf-like villi, and you can see these are the glands which are present in the submucosa, which are known as the submucosal glands or the duodenal glands, or the other name is the Brunner's glands. So Brunner's glands and the leaf-like villi, these are the two very prominent features of the slide of the duodenum. We identify, these are the identification points of actually this slide, that there are leaf-like villi in the mucosa. You know the mucosa consists of the epithelium, the lamina propria and the muscularis mucosae. So this is the mucosa starting from here up till here, and then this is the submucosa, and submucosa is filled with these glands which are known as the Brunner's glands, and these are only present in the submucosa of the duodenum. Then comes the muscularis externa, and this is the serosa. So this is the slide of the duodenum. As we go into the ileum, you will see that these are the villi which are drumstick like. Some people say that these are finger like villi, and the villi are distant apart, they are sparse, they are less in number, because just beneath these villi in the submucosa there is a big patch of lymphocytes. You can see the collection of the lymphocyte. This is actually the Peyer's patch. All these are lymphocytes, and these lymphocytes are piercing the submucosa. This is the submucosa. This is the muscularis mucosae. This is the slide of the ileum, and you can see that in the ileum the villi are drumstick like, or these villi are finger like. These villi are less in number, sparse, distant apart, because they are lying over a submucosa which contains a big patch of lymphocytes. The 70 to 80 lymphatic nodules coalesce and fuse and unite together to give rise to this Peyer's patch. The Peyer's patch is present in the submucosa. It also pierces by penetrating the muscularis mucosae. This is the muscularis mucosae. You can see this is the muscularis mucosae. This is muscularis mucosae, and the muscularis mucosae is pierced by the lymphocytes. The lymphocytic infiltration is present in the lamina propria as well as in the submucosa, and this big patch of lymphocytes, ये जो ढेर लगा हुआ है lymphocytes का submucosa में, और ये lamina propria में भी अंदर दाखिल हो रहे हैं, penetrate कर रहे हैं muscularis mucosae को, इसको Peyer's patch कहते हैं. और ये identification, ये दो identification points हैं when we identify the slide of the ileum. Then this is the jejunum. In the jejunum we can see this is just the mucosa. I have shown the mucosa because there is nothing in the submucosa. Submucosa is a normal broader zone of connective tissue, but you can see here in the jejunum very long finger like projections. These are the villi of the jejunum. These are the crypts of the Lieberkühn in the lamina propria. So this is only the mucosa of the jejunum. So mucosa of the jejunum has got long finger-like projections, and there are nothing in the submucosa. No Peyer's patch, no Brunner's glands, only submucosa consists of a broad zone of dense irregular connective tissue. So these were the slides of the small intestine. Our today's topic is the large intestine, that is the colon. The colon. Today we are going to talk about the large intestine, that is the colon. Colon starts from the ileum as the cecum, and then we have got the ascending colon, there is a transverse colon, there is a descending colon, and then there is the sigmoid colon, rectum, and the anal canal. And this part of this tube is 1.5 meters long only, and its diameter is 7.5 centimeters. And the function of the large intestine is when the food reaches the large intestine, still it has got a lot of water, and here the absorption of water is taking place, and the resultant is a hard fecal matter. And because of the hard fecal matter, the nature has provided a lot of goblet cells, and there are cells which produce the mucus. So another function of the colon is the production of the mucus. जहाँ तक पहुँचते पहुँचते फूड जो है वो तकरीबन ऑलमोस्ट डिसॉल्व हो चुकी होती है, एब्जॉर्ब हो चुकी होती है, डाइजेस्ट हो चुकी होती है, लेकिन अभी डाइजेशन की प्रोसेस जारी होती है, क्योंकि जो यहाँ पे फूड आती है इट इज़ मिक्स्ड विद द एंजाइम्स फ्रॉम द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन इन द स्टमक, and digestion is also going on here. Some digestion is also going on, and the one of the function is the secretion of the mucus, because here the hard fecal matter is being produced after the absorption of the whole of the water from the chyme. And then also there is another function of this part of the large intestine is the secretion of the hormones. There are certain enteroendocrine cells, there are EC cells, there are L cells, and there are D1 cells. And also there are bacteria present in the large intestine which are producing certain vitamins, for example the vitamin K, vitamin B1, B2, B6 and B12. All these vitamins are being produced in this part of the intestine. So these are the functions of the colon. As regards the structure of the colon, you know the colon which is 1.5 meters long, and this is the colon. You can see the diagram of the colon. You can see the cecum, the ileocecal valve, the ileum is opening here. This is the blind diverticulum, which is known as the vermiform appendix. This part of the large intestine is called the cecum. Then this is the ascending colon, this is the transverse colon, this is the descending colon, and this is the sigmoid colon and the rectum, and then this is the anal canal. And as regards the mucosa of the I have told you that the alimentary canal is made up of 4 layers: the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. The mucosa of the large intestine, that is the colon, it has got the epithelium, which is simple columnar epithelium. These cells are known as the enterocytes. These are the absorptive cells. There are a lot of goblet cells. In the mucosa, there are crypts of Lieberkühn. There are simple tubular glands. The columnar epithelium dips down, invaginates into the lamina propria to give rise to these intestinal glands. The upper part of these glands has got the enterocytes. The deeper part of these glands has got a lot of goblet cells. There are also enteroendocrine cells and the stem cells, which are the reserve cells, and they are giving rise to all the new cells. The Paneth cells are absent in the colon, as we have told you about the Paneth cells in the small intestine. The very important feature of the colon is that the colon has got no plicae circularis and there are no villi. The mucosa has got no plicae circularis and there are no villi present in the mucous membrane of the colon. Enterocytes are the cells which has got a glycocalyx. These cells has got no digestive enzymes. Lamina propria has got the straight tubular glands, and there are in the lamina propria the galt, that is gut associated lymphatic tissue. there are large lymphatic nodules seen in the lamina propria. There will be a lot of fibroblast, macrophages, plasma cells, and there are no lymph vessels, but there are adipose cells. Then comes the muscularis mucosae, which separates the mucosa from the submucosa. And what about the submucosa? Submucosa of the colon is the same. It has nothing, just the connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue, which is very vascular. It has got the Meissner's nerve plexus inside. There are collagen fibers, the fibroblasts, elastic tissue. As regards the muscularis externa has got two layers, the inner circular layer and the outer longitudinal layer. But here in the outer longitudinal layer of the muscularis externa of the colon, there are three areas where the outer longitudinal layer has gathered the muscles together to give rise to thick bands which are equidistant from each other, and they are known as the tinea coli. And these tinea coli are approaching the appendix, the base of the appendix. So the surgeons, they identify the colon by seeing the tinea coli, and there are ostrations because of the longitudinal muscle contractions. There are saculations present in the colon. Colon is saculated, ostrated. And then comes the rectum, and then the anal canal. So this is the slide. You can see this is the lumen of the large intestine. These are the columnar cells, and these columnar cells dips down to gives rise to these crypts of Lieberkühn. These are the few crypts of Lieberkühn here, consisting of the enterocytes and the goblet cells. Then can you see the lymphatic nodule? This lymphatic nodule, this is known as the gut associated lymphatic tissue, GALT, and this lymphatic nodule is present in the lamina propria. Then it is the muscularis mucosae. This is the muscularis mucosae. So this is the mucosa, this is submucosa. Submucosa has got a lot of fatty tissue. There are fibroblasts, macrophages, plasma cells. There are a lot of blood vessels. And then comes the muscularis externa. You can see the inner circular layer of the muscles, and this is the outer longitudinal layer, which has got these three thick bands. This is just like the this is the band, and this band is called the tinea coli. कोहान, ऊंट के कोहान की तरह तीन जगह पे इक्वल डिस्टेंस पे हमें बाहर की सरफेस पे नज़र आएंगे ये बैंड्स.